Yes, friends, welcome to a new and improved Who's Lucy, brought to you by J&J Toy Giants. I am your host, JD. We haven't done a Who's Lucy in quite some time. I am excited to get down and to review these two awesome Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures made by Playmates, Surfin Michelangelo, and the one and the only Mondo Gecko. So these both came out in the same year in 1990. I'm going to go into detail of actually where I got these particular figures. For those of you that are joining us for the very first time, welcome. This is a portion of the J&J Toy Giants YouTube channel where we go over all types of loose figures. And for those who don't know what the term loose is or who's Lucy, basically is a terminology word that we collectors use for those figures that were purchased or given that are not in the box, which is basically mint on card or mint in box. So without further ado, let's get into the review of this edition of Who's Lucy.
Well, come on, let's boogaloo!
Alright, so the very first figure that I'm going to be reviewing today is Surfin Michelangelo, made by Playmates, that came out in 1990. As you can see, basically, pretty much if you're a collector of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you knew back in the 90s, man, they were pumping out these figures like it was going out of style. I mean, literally, almost every kind of incarnation you could think of, they had, this particular Michelangelo, all the four turtles, basically doing all kinds of things. In this instance, he is surfing the sewers. Why he would want to do that is another story. But you can see, like, he's got like mini sharks, like basically stuck on his arms. He's got one tied on his elbow pad. Another one stuck with a bunch of seaweed, which you don't actually see seaweed in the sewers. I don't know of any sewer that actually has seaweed in there, but he's got his cool looking, glasses, basically sunglasses that are matching his outfit. He's got his like little scuba gear where basically you're holding some weapons here. I got this from our great friends over at Action ToyMan over in Erie, Pennsylvania. Go check them out. They got some really, really great prices, some great figures that they have there. And also, I cannot basically, say enough good stuff about their fast shipping, man. They do ship their stuff fast. And as you can see, he's got like a little, what is it, octopus? What is that? Yeah, he's got a little octopus stuck on his like flippers here. And of course, he's got like a crab and a little eel stuck to his leg, which is kind of weird. Now that I look at it as an adult, when you're a kid, you don't really, pay too much attention to that stuff. Like, oh man, it's cool, very vibrant. And I will say the color scheme that they used here, very vibrant colors. I'm digging it. Really, really brings back the nostalgia in me. I never actually owned this as a child. I actually had all four turtles, like the regular original line. The first series, rather. I think I had Splinter, I had Shredder, and then I had, I believe I had Leonardo as the samurai. But it was not I believe it was the samurai. It may have been the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 figures that came out during that time frame. Which a lot of people know that during the movie for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, they did not actually make any figures because Playmates thought it was going to bomb. And when they found out that it didn't bomb, they basically made sure that they popped out some of those movie turtles as soon as they could around the time when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 2 came out. He does come with a surfboard. I don't have the surfboard. I'm actually on the hunt for that. And I'm assuming that he has something that goes back here as well. So essentially, if you can see here, he comes with his surfboard and a couple of crabs that basically I would assume will go in the back here. But his articulation is basically the same you'll find with any of the Ninja Turtles, except for this one. Normally the wrists will articulate, but his arms go up and down like the other turtles do. This one basically they go up and down. His arm on the right hand side does not move, but it moves on his left hand side. Of course, his head moves pretty good, and the legs pretty much are the same with any of the Ninja Turtles, even though they do move from side to side. They don't really go forward, backward that great. They do have the peg holes for you to be able to put in stands, because as all of our collector friends know, that when you're trying to stand up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures, they don't really actually stand up that well. So yeah, I mean, I got this with Action ToyMan. It actually is in really, really good condition, and it's not as loosey-goosey as you normally would find with loose figures, because obviously when you find it nostalgic, and this is the original figure that came out in 1990. You can see the stamp back here. And but yeah, I mean, essentially for how old this figure is, it's very, very put together well. Actually, no, his arm does move here on the right hand side. I guess it was pretty stiff. But like I said, I mean, there's not really that many smudges. You can see some on the glasses here, and then some on the shark. But I mean, I'm not complaining. For when I saw it originally on a live on Whatnot, I got it off of Whatnot through Action ToyMan. Even when she was basically showing the live, it just came out, popped out, because of the vibrant colors that this Michelangelo has. It's a great addition to my collection. So let's go to the next one for this edition of Who's Lucy. All right, so rounding out this edition of Who's Lucy is none other than Mondo Gecko, one of the more popular Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures. He actually came out in season 3, if I'm not mistaken, of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series. That's one of the things about with cartoons back in the day, as far as like the 80s and 90s. Whenever they introduced a new character, man, they were pumping figures for that, because obviously they want to sell toys. And so essentially, when this guy came out in season 3, we would see these in stores. I actually saw a lot of Mondo Gecko figures in the toy store that was around my house during the time frame, or whenever I went to like a toy store. But I used to see it a lot, and when I went to Woolworth, if you're in New York City, and especially around the Bronx, you may remember Woolworth, which was kind of like, if I would have to say, it was kind of like Kmart type Walmart. I didn't actually see my first Walmart until I moved out to California in '96. But Woolworth was only pretty much kind of big, store. What's the word they use? Brick and mortar stores. That's what they call it. And there would be some little mom and pop toy stores around where I used to live in the Bronx and in Spanish Harlem. And I saw a lot of Mondo Geckos around the neighborhood. He does come with only one accessory, which obviously is going to be his skateboard. It really doesn't. You really won't find a collector that has a Mondo Gecko without his skateboard. It's pretty much like his shtick. So as you can tell, he is a gecko, not Geico. Gecko, but a gecko. So on the actual figure itself, you have the peg holes here on his skateboard, so we'll put that to the side for a second. His deco is, okay. There's only one or two things, obviously, on this one. The little decals that actually comes with the figure, you can see right here. On the figure, you can see he has a little kind of like a roller skate tied to his tail, and some sneaker-ish, shoes on. Got a skull for a knee pad. For whatever reason, they never colored in this particular knee pad on here too, which is weird. So it's got some elbow pads, some gloves, no helmet, which is a big no-no, man. Back in the 90s, the helmets were being really were enforced, but they were really like trying to dive or basically, tell kids to be safe and wear your helmet. Whereas now it's like mandatory. Now you have to wear a helmet whenever you're, skateboarding or, bike riding and stuff like that. But he has a little decal here on his chest, little skull. He has decal, and these decals came with the figure in the box. And there is some decals you would put on his skateboard. So I actually got this at Vortex Videogames here in Latham, New York, in the Capital District area where I live in upstate New York, Albany area. But this is a town called Latham, which is like right next to Albany. Vortex Videogames is a really, really cool place. They let you like trade in video games, and they have figures and video game systems, board games, Funko Pops, you name it, they have it. It's a really like small little place in Latham, but it's cool. Very, very. I like the owner. The owner's a cool guy. He's getting me really, really good deals when I go there. And actually, I actually didn't trade anything in. Jaden did. He actually traded in some of his like Legos and some video games, and he wanted to get the Lego Dimensions, piece that comes with the Lego Dimensions game, and he has some, credit left over, and he shared it with me. So he goes, "Yeah, Dad, well, you can get something you want." And then I saw this, automatically, wanted to get it. It actually came with the skateboard, which is, very, very few and far between. Whenever you find a loose figure for Mondo Gecko, you don't really see him come with the skateboard, because a lot of times when it's a used figure, a lot of the accessories go bye-bye. So, and then for how old he is, kind of like what I said with the Michelangelo, his articulation is good. He's not that loose, where it's kind of beat up, where you can tell that this guy's been played with, which I can tell this guy's been played with a little bit, but more so based on his condition. It was more so for like a collector's item, just like me, where I just display my figures, but I don't really play with them that much. And his tail does articulate, goes around. The legs basically go as far as like what you normally see with the turtles. His wrists do not turn, but his arms go up and down. Nothing at the elbow though. And of course his head goes pretty much all the way around, Exorcist style. I actually am really psyched that I got this. Of course, Mondo Gecko is a very famous and popular figure in the series, and after doing this review, I might just go back to watch the season 3 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where he is debuted, and go back to Nostalgia Town. But yeah, so thank you so very much, guys, for watching another edition of Who's Lucy. Again, I am your host, JD. Thank you so very much. Be sure to like and subscribe, and also comment on any of our video submissions on YouTube, Patreon, X, Instagram, and Facebook, and follow us on TikTok, and also follow us on Twitch. Thank you so very much, guys. We appreciate it. Again, like we always say, keep on cruising.